Waiting.
There
we go. We are live. What's going on? I know as of right now, it looks like I'm the only one here, so I'm talking to myself, but I have, what's your name? Scott?
Scott. Yeah. My mother gave it to me, that name.
Scott. He's the host of Drunk Cooking with Scott right here on YouTube. So if you have some time, go hit up his channel right now. Hit him with a little subscribe action. It's got some fun stuff, man. But as you can see, Just Mike is not with us just yet. So we're going to wait a little bit before we start pouring. Obviously, the main reason for this channel is we are finally going to be breaking open our Brolic whiskey infinity bottle. As you can see, it's very low. That's because, for one thing, we had the giveaway winners. There was 7 people total that got samples of the infinity bottle, but also this weekend was our monthly whiskey meetup group, and a bunch of the guys from there couldn't make the live drinking, so they went home with samples too. So this is all we got left.
I was gonna say, why is your bottle bigger than mine?
Well, you know. Hey, look who's here. Just Mike just made it in. Taking up, he's gonna try to out angle us, so I got to puff my chest out a little bit. Was that another Deadpool shirt?
Where's my drink?
I said I wasn't gonna pour until you were here, so let me grab the glass.
It's kind of a scam.
So, hopefully a bunch more people join us. Let's see. Shout out to the Rams is what unemployed Mario Yamazaki says. Rams fans? Either one of you?
No. They were from St. Louis. I'm from St. Louis. So,
Oh, you know, actually, I have Cooper Cup on my fantasy team. Go Rams.
All right, go Rams.
Go Rams.
Oh, that sound, the squeak. So we're going to pour this for the first time for ourselves, but we're not going to dip right into it just yet. We're going to wait for a couple of more people to join us. I know.
Who's this guy?
You want?
yeah.
All right.
What am I here for?
Yeah, exactly. The charming conversation.
Drunk Cooking with Scott. He's already started.
Double-fisted, baby.
Thank you, Mario Yamazaki. He said he gave us a like. All right. Just Mike.
Let's give us.
So a couple of the people who won this sample,
Not too shabby. Yeah.
they said that they couldn't make it to the live stream, so they kind of cheated. They drank a little bit ahead of us.
All right.
So far, I've gotten some phenomenal feedback, man. I'm
good.
kind of excited to try this. You know, this is our infinity bottle. So if you don't know what one is, we did do a full in-depth video of what the heck an infinity bottle is. So go check that video out. But just briefly, I'll say this is everything that Mike and I have reviewed thus far. Even a couple of ones that are on the back burner that maybe you don't know that we've done reviews for that just haven't been edited. So if anyone's interested in the list of what's in here, just send me an email, brolicwhiskey@gmail.com, and I'll send you the full list of what we have. But obviously we have some peated smoky whiskeys in here that that smell right off the bat. You get the peat. But there's plenty of bourbons in here, which I'm actually getting a lot of that corn smell through the smoke.
I don't know if I smell corn.
I know there's quite a few cask strength whiskeys.
Smell some cob.
Okay.
So
it smells great.
A lot of the cask strength whiskeys are probably going to be improving this this ABV quite a bit. So I'm expecting a very complex whiskey here. You guys ready to dig in for the first time?
Over here.
Yeah, keep talking, man. Keep talking. I'll start
So
drinking without you.
we're gonna start dipping into this.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's pleasant.
Wow,
That's pleasant.
That is good.
that is really good.
You asked for
Complex.
complexity, you just got it.
How many of them was there that you put in there?
There's approximately 25 different whiskeys in here.
I would have thought there's no way that would work, but it's good.
I can send the full
And there's
list to
Toki
everybody.
in this too.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Amazingly, there's Toki in this.
it's bad whiskeys, it's good whiskeys, it's everything that we've reviewed thus far, all in one. And I try to keep it about 1 ounce per whiskey, but I do a freehand, so it's not like I'm taking a jigger and making sure it's perfect pours. The only one that's not in here, and that's because we bottled it down during the review, there's no dark origins.
Well, yeah, that's a hard to get one.
Yeah, so we need to get a new bottle of Highland Park Dark Origins.
Good luck.
Sending some love to Drunk Cooking with Scott. That's one hot one.
It's true. These are true facts.
Who's one hot one?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
We might
So,
find out.
first of all, if you don't know why this is a big deal for Mike and myself, we gave a goal of when we would actually open up our Infinity bottle, and we said that once we hit 100 subscribers, that's when we were going to open it up. But we kind of surpassed that quickly due to the Conor McGregor video that went viral. So we'll give credit where credit's due. That video helped grow our channel exponentially.
Absolutely.
But I was also doing a giveaway contest at the same time. So I had a 2-week contest, and then I wanted to give like a 2-week lead time to make sure that everyone that won the whiskey actually had time to get it delivered. So, you know, this technically could have been done a month ago, but we wanted to make sure anyone who won the whiskey had the opportunity, if they wanted to join us during this live stream to drink along with us. Anyone have any questions, or do you just want me to keep blabbing?
The other night he was talking about you mad scientist this. No?
You're talking about a totally different bottle, which we're not there yet. So
I
don't bring that one up.
All right. Okay, you heard nothing. You heard nothing.
We're gonna hit the little.
I was gonna say when you threw everything together.
Erase the memory. Look at the light.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say when you threw everything together here, I was like, after hearing like talk about it before, I was like, is it just crazy, or maybe he's a genius, maybe he's brilliant at this. And this right now,
well, here you go, Scott. Now, are you gonna do one? You're going to start your own bottle.
I do want to start my own bottle.
This is damn good.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The thing about the Infinity bottle, though, Scott, is it's always going to evolve. It's always going to change. Sure. As we add things to it, time is going to make these flavors mingle differently. Air getting into the bottle is going to change the flavors a little bit. So as we add more whiskeys, as we start drinking from it, it's an ebb and flow. But there'll be times where you taste it and it's like the best tasting whiskey you've ever had. There'll be times where it's freaking horrible. You're like, what the hell happened? And you start to get nervous. You're like, oh man, did I just ruin that whole bottle? But then you start adding a little bit more to it, and all of a sudden something magical happens. It's not a true science.
It's a good way to use bad whiskeys for something good.
So is that
I got plenty of those.
Mario Yamazaki, he asked, is it different types of whiskey? Guys,
are we doing a show here?
Mario Yamazaki asks, is crossing different types of whiskeys a thing, or did I come up with that? It is a thing. And, you know, Infinity bottle is not a term I made up. It's the more commonly used term is Infinity bottle. But I've heard people call it a Solera bottle. I've also heard people call it a living bottle, which that one's not very popular, but Infinity bottle is the more common term. Now, Mario, to answer a little bit differently, there are people who will do different Infinity bottles where they'll maybe just one Infinity bottle of every bourbon that they've ever had, and another one for Irish whiskey, another one for blended, for unpeated Scotch, and then peated Scotch, because the thing about peated whiskey is it definitely overtakes the flavor pretty quick. So a little goes a long way. And if you're not a peated whiskey fan, nice. You might want to keep them separated. So the thing is, there's no hard rule on how you do your Infinity bottle. It's just a matter of doing it. It's supposed to be your living journal of your whiskey journey. So just have fun with it. If you want to separate them into different styles, that's up to you. If you want to just do what Mike and I did, we did every single whiskey. So there was no rhyme or reason. If we reviewed it, it went in the bottle. And I see Artino said something about, he just said blending, question mark. What does that mean? What are you getting there, Artino?
I was going to say my whiskey journey is kind of like an Alzheimer's patient on vacation without a camera. But I know I went somewhere. That's it. Drunk Cooking with Scott.
Drunk Cooking with Scott. Go check them out. So what I meant to say before I really got into why it's taken us a month to actually do this live stream, I did want to say really seriously thank you guys for helping us get to where we are right now.
Absolutely.
Without you guys subscribing, we wouldn't have been hitting our goal. So, and it's cool to see the people that actually are liking our review channel. We knew when we did the Conor McGregor whiskey, we were going to get a lot of trolls as well.
I like
ignoring the trolls because Mike enjoys that shit. Ignoring the trolls, what I gathered is we did get a lot of legit people who they found us through the channel, but then they started looking at our other videos and they did enjoy it. And Josh, thank you very much. We love that you're following the channel. If you have any questions or if you have requests that you'd like us to review certain things, let us know. I do know things that are coming up. We just got a bottle of the new Johnny Walker White Walker. So that one's coming up. That'll probably be the next review that we record, and I'll probably try to edit it right away. The other thing is, and I won't get too detailed on it, but I will say we are going to revisit the Conor McGregor Proper Number 12 whiskey. There's a reason why we're doing it.
It's an interesting reason.
Oh, okay.
And at the same time, I'm going to bring up a fact that there's something Proper 12 is hiding from us. So I'm gonna present the question during that next video of what is Proper 12 hiding from the public. So I won't get too detailed on it. You guys can watch it.
Interesting, right? It's a little hook.
Yeah.
You know, why did you choose to base your channel around whiskey? I'm more of a rum fan myself. Okay. Whiskey is just the alcohol that I fell in love with. Started with doing the beer tours since we live in San Diego now. Coming from New York, everyone said, hey, you guys got to go to this brewery. You got to go to that one. You got to go to that one. And we did that for the first couple of years of living out here, and I just got beered out. And I started drinking whiskey, Black Label Johnny Walker. Someone then gifted me a bottle of Double Black. And it opened up my eyes like, wow, smoky whiskey's different and it's cool. And then I went to Lefroy 10. Lefroy 10. Whoo! That just opened up my world to a different type of taste. And it's been fun going around to different bourbons, whiskeys, Irish, Scotch. I mean, there's just so many different flavor profiles out there that man, it's going to take us a while to get through trying so many different things.
Yeah, you have to deal with us for a little bit.
For a while, yeah. Rum, I have no problem with doing an episode of specialty whiskey. I mean, specialty liquors once in a while, like because we've gotten quite a few requests now for doing different rums. I think if we do something like that, since it's not something I'm well versed in, I don't want to pretend that that I know a lot about it. So I think it'll be more like a trial where Mike and I just maybe have like 4 or 5 different rums, and just do like a special episode of those 4 or 5 rums. I forgot the other thing someone was asking. Oh, a certain type of tequila, which that one I'm nervous about.
Yeah, I did college already. I don't want to go back to that. Had some experiences.
Is it the E150 content in the Proper 12? Well, I wouldn't say that's the reason that we're going to be doing this review, revisiting review, Aaron, because I did mention it right in the video that this is definitely colored. And that's a fact. We know it's colored, so there's no reason to like revisit it just for that alone. Try Bumbu. Someone gave me a bottle of what he calls, because he's from Haiti, he calls it Babaku. But if I read the bottle how it's spelled out, it's Barbancourt.
On that bamboo, yo.
So I do have a bottle of that. And Aaron's saying mezcal. Mezcal's the one that a lot of people are saying is going to have some of the similarities to whiskey because of the oak-aged barrels that they put them in. So we'll give it a shot, but we're not going to change our channel to try to be like the one channel that does all the different alcohols. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll be starting a wine cooler channel.
There you go.
Reviewing wine coolers. We're gonna bring back Bartles and James and Zimas. We're on it.
Smirnoff.
Let's get to Boone's.
Boone's Farm.
Yeah, you know, high school kids watch YouTube. Let's review Boone's.
What's up, 10th grade?
So yeah, so seriously, thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. I appreciate the love that we have gotten from the people that are legitimate fans of whiskey, not the ones that just came because of a certain person's whiskey. If we got heat off of the first video, yeah, we're gonna get a lot of heat off the revisit one. I could just say that flat out. I know we're gonna get a lot of heat off the revisit, but it's got to be done. It's just got to be done. White Walker. Are we recording tomorrow?
I hope so.
All right. So we're going to record tomorrow. So the White Walker video will be out in a couple of days because I'm still slow at editing.
I'm curious about this White Walker. Was it Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, Johnny Walker edition.
Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
He had it.
Okay. Oh, you had it? Oh, really?
He's not allowed to give you teasers, though.
Yeah, don't.
No tasting points.
I have to bring my wisdom.
So the Game of Thrones, I don't know if you guys knew this just yet, but Game of Thrones, there's going to be 9 different whiskeys that come out. So far, the only one that's out is the Johnny Walker White Walker edition. But then there's another 8, and the other 8 represent the 8 families in Game of Thrones. So there's going to be like an Oban, a Cardew, Talisker, Lagavulin. There's all these different ones, and each one of them represents one of the families. So like one will represent the Lannisters, one will represent the Starks. So it's kind of cool. Out of the more commercial whiskeys, which is your top commercial whiskeys? Now, I don't know what you would technically consider a commercial whiskey, so I think you would need to clarify that. But
yeah, I was gonna say, Evans, Jack
this
Daniels,
is his for sure. He's always got a 1.75 of the
45% under $20 for a big ass bottle of almost Jack Daniels.
It's hard to find a cup holder for that size.
So for me, I would consider Lefroy to be a commercial distillery. So for me, it's Lefroy. Lefroy's my absolute favorite of the big dogs. If that's not a big enough company to you, then, I mean, if you're talking like just your things like Johnny Walker, Jack Daniels type of stuff, I like Johnny Walker Green. It's my favorite of the whole Johnny Walker lineup. Ice, baby. So,
can I give you a title?
Give me a
so
title.
Mainstream. Yeah. You're probably saying, look, in that scenario, Lefroy might not fit that situation. So then I would say, yeah, Johnny Walker Green is a good go-to. Or if I find it on a good sale, I will still go to the double black, because Costco by us in Temecula sells double black for $27. So because they won't shut up in the background now, talking about other conversation, not talking to you guys, I'm gonna punish them now.
I like the way he pours.
so we're gonna bring out a little Mike's favorite, Toki. We're bringing out Toki right now, but this is no regular Toki.
Have you seen this?
Okay, so why not blue? For one, and this is my own personal opinion, and that's what we're here for. You know, we don't claim to be experts, and everyone has different flavor profiles. So I can only give you my fair assessment. My opinion is Johnny Walker Blue is way too bland for the price.
Bland?
So $150, it's boring. It's a boring whiskey for $150 to $250.
I wouldn't call it. I'd call it poop. It sucks.
And for that price point, $150 to $250, we can pick you out some phenomenal whiskeys that will blow your mind, versus having to pay that much money just because you're trying to impress your boss. That's usually when people buy.
I never
blue.
try to impress. I have a boss. I have an employer. You know.
So I cleaned out my glass because I'm gonna suffer through with them. So this is not technically an infinity bottle, He just needs to get his face in there. Come on over.
I think he should.
So I think it's funny because he's just always like, "Hey, so."
Yeah.
So
we're gonna take this guy out of the shot.
the Suntory Toki is Mike's and I's one of our least favorite whiskeys of all time.
It's perfect for cleaning the brakes on your car.
But
That's what it's.
I threw a red Savina pepper in here for a couple of days, so now it's nice and spicy. Mose, he was asking me about blue because I was saying Johnny Walker Green is my favorite from the lineup. So we did talk about the green. So this one was about half a bottle of Toki before I put the red Savina pepper in there. The problem is because Toki's so boring and bland, all it tasted like was the pepper.
It's garbage.
So what I did was I started adding Lefroy quarter cask.
Anything for a free drink.
And Rabbit Hole. Man, what's that long ass name? Rabbit Hole straight bourbon whiskey finished in PX sherry cask. That's a mouthful, right?
If this wasn't live, we could have had a bouncing ball. Jesus.
So those are the two whiskeys that I added on top of Toki. So in my opinion, that's not considered an infinity bottle. It's only a blend of 3 whiskeys. But you don't have your glass? You want to try some more? What, are you hiding your glass? He doesn't want to do the spicy one.
I don't do spicy.
You'll show up. You'll take FaceTime.
Paul,
but you won't drink with us.
Cheers to that, man. I've had blue a couple of different times. So the first time I had it, I wasn't a Scotch fan, so I just assumed that it was. I
smelled it today.
I just assumed that I didn't like it just because I wasn't a Scotch fan yet. But I had it recently since I started my whiskey journey, and I still did not like the blue. So for me, it's definitely not something that I would go for. Even if it was the same price as green, like if there was a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue next to a bottle of green and they were both $50, I'm choosing the green. It's not a matter of just would I pay a little less for blue.
I want to point out
Mike is tapping out.
Paul Farrell.
Yeah, that's who I was just answering. Right?
Well, I know. I just want to make sure Paul Farrell gets his name out there because he doesn't like the blue either.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. But you guys are too busy talking.
I know. No. Paul Farrell said he doesn't like the blue either. And I want to make sure Paul Farrell is recognized for good taste.
Paulie.
Yes. Thank you, Paul Farrell.
So, Josh, are you asking what's our favorite Scottish whiskey is, as far as a style of whiskey or the whiskey that we would be drinking? Because my answer is still Lefroy. I mean, I kind of answered that earlier, but if you're saying style, then I would go Isla style.
Aaron is asking if I'm tapping out. All right. Now, I've met Aaron. Aaron's a great dude. Dave,
dude, that's spicy.
Dave, I want you to take some of this to Aaron.
Hey, as long as, all right, Aaron, if Chris can still give me a ride to our whiskey meetup on Saturday, I was planning to bring the spicy whiskey. So the only way I can get up there is if Chris gives me a ride. So if Chris gives me a ride, you'll be tasting this one next weekend.
Aaron's a good dude. I really appreciate the guy. I think you deserve a little bit of this. And then you can answer your own question about tapping out. Oh my God, this stuff is wrong.
Mario Yamazaki, close. It's sherry with an S. Sherry like sherry wine. He's loving this spicy whiskey.
My wife had some of this today.
Did she?
And how was her reaction?
She just had a little bit, but she was like, yeah, it was. She was.
Does she like spicy food?
She had her big girl pants on though.
Does she like spicy food?
So to some degree, yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, I did the spicy challenge.
Yeah.
This is very similar to that spicy challenge.
So Mose, it wasn't an infinity bottle; it was a blend because it's only 3 whiskeys. It was 3 days total, and it was only 1 pepper. It was just 1 red Savina pepper for 3 days. If you missed the story, basically the reason I took the pepper out was it wasn't so much because of the spice; it was because of the flavor. It was taking on too much of the spicy pepper flavor, and the red Savina's kind of got a strong flavor. So I'm actually adding more whiskeys on top now to try to bring back the whiskey flavor.
Switch whiskeys for different
Absolutely.
moods.
Well, hold
Absolutely.
on. That's a different answer for me. Mario, I don't drink. You see how much I drink a week. We film once a week.
Yeah.
That's all my drinking for once a week. So, yeah, I have one mood, filming mood. That's when I drink.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me explain something to these guys about this whole channel.
Mike's talking.
Yeah, Dave is the channel. He is everything about the. He does the research. He picks the whiskey. He does everything for it. I show up at his house. He turns on the camera. I say something stupid, and he records it. That's it. That's about as much as I'm invested in this. Okay. He wanted a guy that's going to come in and say something dumb and be new to whiskey. He found me. Luckily, I met Dave because I went to his gym. Dave's job is to get me in shape and apparently to try and get me drunk once a week. That's it. So when you guys hear Brolic whiskey, it's all Dave. I just show up. I just want to let you guys know that.
Thank you, Mike, for saying that. But I'm really digging your Deadpool Leonardo da Vinci mashup.
Oh, that's me, man. I am a steroid douchebag, which is nothing but Deadpool.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you've heard that.
You guys,
have you heard that yet? That's the troll.
If you saw some of the mean shit that was in the
awesome.
the comment section, but
awesome. I love it. I can't.
A lot of comments towards Mike was that he's a juice head, and so I told him it's kind of like they're saying a compliment. They're saying that you're in good shape.
Yeah, look, juice head, right? Look at this. What am I a juice head? Okay.
So
whatever.
As far as for me, Mario,
I'm okay with it.
I would say absolutely I change whiskeys for different moods because although Isla whiskey is my favorite style normally, there are times where I don't want that big peaty monstrosity of a palate killer. Maybe I want something more on the sweet side, and that's where I'll go towards certain bourbons. And I'm trying to learn how to look into the camera. The natural reaction is you want to look at your own face. Like you're looking, I'm looking here, and it looks like I'm not looking at anyone. I'm trying to look at the camera. So there's times where, yeah, I'll go for a bourbon rather than an Isla whiskey. And I hate to admit this, but I'm getting old, man. And there's times where I'll get like a little bit of heartburn. And I notice that the whiskeys that bother me are the Isla peated whiskeys. So like I'll get a lot of like acid reflux if I do peated whiskey. So on those days, if I have that, but I still want to drink, I skip out on Isla.
I drink whatever he brings.
And where do you live, Mario? Like what state are you in?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the name, Unemployed Mario Yamazaki. I really do.
Mario Yamazaki from the USC.
Yeah. Hey, look, I like it.
Why does the chat keep going away? I lost the chat. There we go. Chicago. So, I mean, if you jump on an airplane, you can join us. We usually do our reviews on Monday.
It's a 3.5 hour flight.
Yeah. Our reviews go out on Monday in the late morning. We do. Scott's part of my Fallbrook Whiskey Meetup group, and we meet once a month. And that's just everyone brings at least a bottle of whiskey for everyone else to share from.
Shout out to the Fallbrook group. I haven't had a chance to come yet.
And you're right down the street.
I'm just meeting this guy.
Yeah, first time, and we're neighbors, right?
All right. And
yeah, exactly.
Then Artino, who I think is still in the chat room here, he's also a part of the other whiskey meetup group that I'm in. They meet about every 6 weeks or so, but that one's up in Orange County. That's Newport Beach. So fancy. Pinky's out.
Yeah. Whiskey drinkers of Orange County, right?
But yeah, that spicy whiskey, it has a punch. It's got quite the kick.
That's a spicy whiskey.
Wow. So, just to follow up, is anyone in the chat room that actually won a sample of the Infinity bottle? Is anyone in the chat room that's tried the whiskey yet?
Would love a little quick review of it.
As I've gotten a couple of instant messages through Instagram, or I think one of them came through Twitter, of people who have tried it because they won the samples, and they were the ones who gave me feedback saying that's really good.
What do we got?
Oh man, I told you I'm old. It takes me a while.
I'm also
to figure this
curious
shit out.
how if there's any delay here, as I've mentioned it a few times that there's usually a delay.
Yeah.
I've commented on it and that we're on 7 conversations later before you guys are like, what is he talking about? Because it's so far back that by the time you guys see the comment, and that can be the case here too.
Yeah.
Always something to keep in mind when you're not sure what they're talking about. What were we talking about 3 minutes ago?
Gotcha.
You know.
I'm trying to find them. I know a couple of people said, all right, where this one, you weren't kidding about a lot of flavors in this mix. I got a very strong smoky taste, though. And then, what do you say? Also may have been the smoothest whiskey I've ever had. So, what do you say? I'm not overly big on the excess smoky flavor, but this is a damn good drink. So
Wow.
that was from Jay Meyer.
Wow.
Another one was Neiman's Knife Works. This guy, he makes custom knives.
I like them already.
Right?
I'm a big fan of that show. The
where was it?
forging show.
Let's see. Oh, spoiler alert! Because he posted
Mario. Hold on, look at that. Mario's a bartender
and a manager.
and a manager. Dude, this
I
guy's
bartend and manage at my father's bar full time. So, what is your normal drink of choice from your father's bar? Yeah, so Neiman's Knife Works, when I announced that we'll be going live at 4 p.m., spoiler alert, it's good. Yeah, let me see if I can find.
Well, I'm glad we can put Neiman's Knife Works on the old interweb here. Give him a little love. I like it.
Hey,
There's some light.
the light turned on. Messiahs told me it would go on.
Wow,
it only took an hour to go on.
Yes, I pay a mortgage for this.
Yes.
I pay for this.
You're a Bacardi guy. All right. I used to be a Captain guy, so Captain and Coke used to be my drink of choice.
I gotta say too, with this infinity bottle, this is a new thing to me also, and I want to do one on my own. That I would highly recommend. I mean, not everybody can taste this bottle, obviously, but to try it on your own, because I'm impressed. It's motivated me.
It's kind of neat, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome that it constantly changes. It's like I said, it's like your journal of your whiskey journey. So I that alone I think is cool. Some people have specific rules. Like some guys I hear will wait till the bottle's almost empty and their last pour goes in. I'm too impatient for that because next time I might not kill that bottle for like 6 months. So I normally,
I think I'd always be tasting the bottle as I go.
I'm saying like adding to it, adding
Okay.
whiskey to it.
Yeah,
So
but that's not the journey. Though.
yeah, so I'm not doing that. I normally what I do is the second Mike and I cut this take, I go inside, I grab the infinity bottle, and I pour a little in. That's just how I've been.
My journey would be filled with impatience.
Yours would be filled with. Yours would be Evan Williams.
Mix this
Evan
right,
Williams
yeah.
on top of that Evan Williams. A little more Evan Williams, and then Woodford once in a blue. Then that Jim Beam Devil's Cut. More Evan Williams.
It's all low ball. Low ball.
Evan Williams, July.
I drink too much to drink expensive
Moe's.
stuff.
I don't know.
I'd go bankrupt. I'd be
what
homeless.
that
I can't do
is,
it.
so I don't know how to answer that. I don't know who Baltimore Knife and Sword are. And I honestly, I don't know much about Neiman's Knife Works either. All I know is they won. They won the channel. They won the sample through the giveaway. Man, is there anything else that we wanted to touch on? Did you have anything to say other than?
I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful that we can interact.
Yeah, thank you guys for allowing me to be here. And
I've been excited. I've been all about that. Bringing people in because this isn't just a Dave and I channel. This is really
your mom's awesome.
Yeah, she's a.
You want to come on, Tanner?
No.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike's mom.
Sure.
She never introduces.
Mike's mom's got it going on.
Mike's mom does not introduce herself by her name. She'll actually introduce herself as Mike's mom.
She is truly Japanese. She is a ninja. I just want everyone to know she is a ninja.
Wait a second.
I'm not starting no trouble.
How is
up in
your
here.
mom Japanese if you're Mexican, Mike?
Yeah, the quandary, right? Yeah, there it is right there.
My favorite drink as a youngster depends on what time of my youngster youth we're talking about, but anything with that was beer related was going down my gullet when I was in my teens.
Teens, anything you get, whatever you get. Yeah.
I didn't drink when I was underage. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's illegal.
Yeah, usually beer, but of course, I had older cousins that were like a lot older than me, so they would always have that little thing of, this little bastard's not getting drunk. What the hell? How's he handle so much liquor at 90 pounds? So they would try to get me to drink some of the heavier stuff, like 151 rum.
That's not heavy.
Everclear?
Yeah, okay, there we go.
I had a little incident with Everclear when I was young.
Yeah, I was definitely
There
more
was
of
a
a beer
fire.
guy most of my time, but on occasion I would do like a rum and Coke, whether it's Captain and Coke, like I mentioned earlier, or maybe like a Jack and Coke, something like that. When I was a bartender, I tend to fall towards anything that had a lot of alcohol. So like Long Island iced tea or Red
151's
Devil.
the devil.
Yes, that shit's horrible. That is
I was
horrible.
a Long Island iced tea guy. That was my
Red Devil was my
Oh, yeah.
new joint for a little while.
You know how 151 actually is best? Whenever I went to the islands for the Keys or something on vacation, and I got the frozen Bahama Mama or something, the only time I'll have a frozen drink is like I'm in the islands on vacation. So I have it, I'm on the beach, and they put that 151 floater right on top. That's
Because
okay.
then it's hidden by all the sugars. Yeah. Well,
there's a time and a place for everything.
Absolutely.
Mississippi corn whiskey. When you say corn whiskey, was it 100% corn or was it a blend of? Because to be a bourbon, you have to be 51% corn or more, right?
Okay.
To be a corn whiskey, you have to be 80%.
You missed the part where he blew his buddy's toes off almost. What was that all about?
A long time ago, 100%.
Yeah. I almost blew my teddies.
That's what I want to hear.
Drinking and shooting, was there something else I've missed completely?
I don't think it was a slingshot.
Wow. Now, of course, Mike and I, as the channel grows, one of the common complaints that I have gotten is,
fish bowls.
Yeah, the fish bowls.
The giant party drinks. Is that what you're talking about when you say fish bowls, where it's like 5 people are supposed to share it, but
we used to get off work
all
and
of us had one.
You don't find that in California. Not the fish bowl.
No, that was an East Coast thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Midwest Illinois, you would go after work, you would drink, get everyone get fish bowls.
Not
big
too much experience with moonshine.
It was like a 64-ounce drink.
When I do get to do distillery tours,
whoever got them
a lot of the guys they like to sample out what's called White Dog, which is essentially moonshine. It's unaged whiskey. So that's probably the extent of my moonshine is when I do distillery tours and they let me try the unaged
Never
White
had
Dog.
real moonshine. Never had real moonshine.
But what I was saying is with us
pretty mouth.
With us growing the channel like we are, the common complaint that I've gotten is that, with us recording outside, sometimes we get a lot of that outside noise of the helicopters flying over or the airplanes. Dude, I'm trying to talk. Shut the fuck up.
He's from New York.
Yeah.
New York, the speaking state.
Lots of
The
straws.
Speaking state.
So the goal for us is definitely to get a better mic setup, because right now we're just using the onboard mic that's on the camera. And so
this is true. We broke.
We have the omnidirectional microphone, picks up every little thing. So with a better mic, that's going to be the first thing that we want to shoot towards for you guys, so you can hear us better without some of the distraction.
DAVE on the MIC.
That's right. He's been drinking today, folks.
No.
Means nothing.
Yeah, no.
Would you ever distill your own? Good question, Mario. I never, ever in a million years thought that would ever be a possibility, because of the fact that typically the investment that it takes to start a whiskey is insane. We're talking easily $500,000 to start a distillery brand from scratch. But we've recently found out there's a place right here not far from us. It's actually about 20 minutes from us in San Marcos that do you remember the term that they used? What he was saying, like how you can rent the place out.
Yeah, I think he said you can rent the place out.
There's a term for it, you asshole. So there's this place that they basically you can rent the room out for just like doing a single run of whiskey. And what's cool about it is the way that they do it, and they're the only ones that we're aware of, not only in the state and possibly the country, but I might even be the only place in the world that allows this, that you can do everything under their license. So you don't even have to get your different licensing. Usually you have to have a distiller's license or a resale license and all this other stuff. So there's this place that supposedly Mike and I can just go in with an investment of a couple $1,000 and be able to start up a run of whiskey. Granted, I don't know how many bottles we'd get out of that investment, but know that we can do it for a couple thousand versus a couple $100,000, it makes things makes things a little bit more approachable. So hopefully this channel grows to the point where it's not just a hobby and we actually can make some income off of it, because we would just put anything that we bring in towards making the channel better, which includes maybe one day doing a special release whiskey. Do it, Aaron's saying. Give us some money. With that being said, Aaron, we actually just started a Patreon page. So if anyone wants to actually support the channel and help us get better microphones, better editing equipment, and all that other stuff, find our Patreon link. It's actually in the cover photo of the YouTube channel. But Aaron, you want us to do this? Invest in us, man.
Hey, I like Aaron's idea at the bottom there. You see it?
Do a video on the options available as a tenant. Wait, at a host distillery. What?
I like that. We go to the distillery. We do what we do, but we give the options that are there, so people are educated on the process.
Oh, got it. Okay, now I understand what you mean. You're a dick. So what I found really cool, like working with Sean, right? Sean doesn't come from a distiller's background. He comes from a brewer's background. So he's used to actually being more experimental and actually doing specific type of beers. And that's what my whole thinking was. I would rather try doing think of a beer that I actually really used to enjoy, which would be like a nice chocolatey stout type of beer. Maybe trying to do that and then distilling it into a whiskey. And seeing what happens with that. And I will tell you the reason why most do not do this type of whiskey is because it costs a lot more money in materials to do that style of distilling versus your typical just regular malt.
Gotcha.
But if we're doing one-offs, hey, why not?
I'm all for it. We got a couple of questions up on the board.
You need... Yes, thank you, Mario. I would love to have the super chat, but YouTube's been over a month of waiting for us to get approval on that. So they're dragging their feet. We have not gotten the approval. I don't know what's going on. So super chat would be cool. In the meantime, if you guys do want to send anything, we have a PayPal and Venmo, which would be brolicwhiskey@gmail.com. What's your hangover remedy?
More alcohol.
Take it from the pro.
Drunk cooking with Scott.
I don't drink mixers.
Shameless.
Yeah.
Shameless.
We get it.
Promotion. Am I promoting?
Yeah, he's self-promoting. Drunk cooking with Scott here on YouTube. The thing is, Scott, and this is no offense to him, but the reason he's probably he's feeling the hangovers is because he doesn't drink straight. It's very, very rare
hangovers. I'm helping you
that you can get a hangover when you're drinking straight whiskey.
I got a hangover.
I thought
you're usually getting
snobbery here.
Yeah. I have no problem with you guys talking. Just be a little quiet. I'm trying to explain.
No.
So,
please.
It's the sugars. The sugars from the mixers that are usually giving you that hangover. But as a remedy, he said more alcohol. He might be right. I'm not
bacon helps.
I'm not gonna argue with that. Do you have any? Have you ever been hungover?
5 times in my life.
5 times. Did you have anything that worked for you? What was it?
Vietnamese pho.
Pho.
Bowl of pho.
All right. So he says more alcohol. He says pho, and I say I don't know. Hydration. That's usually been my thing. Like when I knew I was going out for a heavy night of drinking, like excessive, I would normally sports drink it up. So like I would drink like a bottle of Gatorade before going to bed. So the electrolytes.
I won't help you live very long, but I'll get you through your day. Until it's not.
Glenmorangie did a chocolate malt with the Signet. Well, it's like we said, it's a lot more expensive, and that's why most places haven't done it. But I'll have to check out the Glenmorangie. I haven't found many that I've liked from that particular distillery. I like to keep things original. I'm with that too. Bacon is the best cure with some ginger ale. That's coming from unemployed Mario Yamazaki. So Josh, you got a bunch of different people that's telling you what to do. Bartender/manager says bacon and some ginger ale.
Or if you can't, take the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the only other thing that we got going on is we have a Teespring account now too. So there's T-shirts. Mike just put up a couple of custom designs.
Is it still active?
Should be.
I hope so. I don't know.
Teespring account. If you want some T-shirts, should be live.
I hope so.
Any other questions, guys, before we get out of here? Or if you guys, are you drinking? Let us know in the comments section what you are drinking. Otherwise, I think we all need to have a glass ready just to cheers them out if they if we do get out of here.
Yeah. Stay away from the Toki. I appreciate that.
Stay away from Toki.
Stay away from the Toki. That's appreciated.
Well, I'm trying to save some for Aaron to try. Aaron's saying that he saw you tap out, so he thinks that it's not even that strong. Coins, maybe. Moe's. Yeah, I know the coins are really, really popular with the whiskey tube guys. So in my personal opinion, I just think that it's overdone now. It's at this point, like how many coins are people going to buy? Like every single person's got a coin now. I think I would like to do some type of topper that's a little different. Then again, Mike and I are also superhero nerds. I play once in a blue moon when I actually get around to doing it. I play a game called Hero Clicks. I've never checked to see if the coins fit.
Drink ASAP.
But Hero Clicks coin might work where we make like a custom coin that's usable in the game too. We are nerds. Mike needs another drink ASAP. Yes, sir. I'm actually trying a Jameson cask make. Yes, that is still for the money. It's an amazing Irish whiskey for the money. For $25 or less, it's so damn good. I still think even overall, it's probably my top 3 favorite Irish whiskey behind Cooley 11-year-old and Redbreast 12 Cask Strength.
Keep it.
I'll try that tonight.
Man, that's good stuff.
Why don't you keep the whiskey on the tongue for the years it was aged? What does that mean? What does that mean? Do you mean like if we do a 12-year-old whiskey, we should keep it in our mouth for 12 seconds? Because otherwise, 12 years, you guys are going to be taking a long time to.
What are these words?
Are you reading that, Mike? You're nodding your head like, what is? You're confused too?
I don't know. I think that's what he means, and I kind of like the idea.
I've got another Irish whiskey you'll have to try. It might give that Cooley 11 a run for its money. Really? Is it less expensive than that really expensive Cooley? So Aaron's the one who actually hooked us up. That was the one I was telling you guys about the other night. Aaron brought the Cooley 11-year-old, and it's amazing, but I think it's like $130. It's an expensive whiskey. It's outside my budget.
It's up there. But if it's worth
Teeling single cask. Okay. Is that coming out to Saturday's meetup? Napog Castle. I don't even know what that is. Oh, there goes the chat again. Chat just disappeared. So I don't know what Napog Castle is. Is that a distillery? A master taster from another channel said it's the best way to get all of the flavors.
Really? I'm interested. I think we ought to give that a swing. I'm all for trying something new.
The oldest whiskey in here, I believe, is Full Volume, which is almost 18 years old. So here we go. Let's do an 18 seconds of silence as we try this.
18 seconds of silence. I didn't last 18 seconds.
I didn't last 18 seconds either on that one. I felt like there was like after about 5 or 6 seconds, it stopped changing. Right,
Not
like
for me,
it kept changing.
it changed.
Okay,
and it really went into that burning, numbing, smoky. That's what I got.
Yeah, me too.
It started a little bit sweet, and then it just increased, and I couldn't deal with it anymore.
I think you guys should check out the calmer tasting method. All right, does anyone have a pen so I can write that down?
It's in my purse. I left it at home.
What about some Canadian whiskey?
You got a pen coming over here.
What about some Canadian whiskey?
Do we? Thank you. Did we do any Canadian? I don't think we have.
They're mostly crap.
Most Canadian whiskey, in my personal opinion, as
They're
offensive
horrible.
as it sounds, is they're not
They're
enjoyable.
horrible, eh?
They're usually really, really boring and simple and bland. I will say the best Canadian whiskey I've ever had was the Orphan Barrel. What the hell was the name of it from Crown Royal? Entrapment, I think it was called. I think it was called Entrapment. I would say that was the best Canadian whiskey I ever had, and that one's like a 25-year-old whiskey. And even for a 25-year-old whiskey, it was a pretty boring whiskey. Like it didn't do a whole lot for me. If you want to check them out,
we should try
whiskey.com is the one that does that. Yeah,
let's do a Canadian whiskey. We haven't done it yet. We're supposed to explore all whiskeys.
Sure.
Let's do
No
it.
snobbery.
Yeah,
Well,
we're not supposed to be snobs.
no,
So don't be a snob.
we're not being snobs. We just need to find something that's enjoyable. So calmer tasting method, I'll check that out. Let's see, did I miss anything?
Calmer tasting method.
That was the one I was saying, hold it in the mouth for
Yeah.
as old as the whiskey is.
Maybe we're doing something wrong.
The Whistle Pig release that used Alberta rye. Excellent. Yeah, Whistle Pig's so expensive though, man. That's the biggest thing that holds me back from buying Whistle Pig. I mean, the cheapest one is their regular yellow label, and the cheapest I've seen it is like $80. And then you got the Whistle Pigs that go upwards of like $500 a bottle.
Oh,
Sorry, unless someone's sending me a bottle of that, there's no Whistle Pigs coming up anytime soon. How about Lot 40?
Hold on. Mario's chiming in again.
Haven't tried that.
Look at Mario's
Mario.
statement. Mario's chiming in again.
Why is the top jacket going away?
I don't
Stay
know,
there.
but,
So Unemployed Mario,
It says on the shelf.
you furthered my belief that nobody enjoys Canadian whiskeys. Always stays on the shelves. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it out there.
Makes for a good ginger ale.
Mario might be the best thing in Chicago right now, because no one's a Chicago pizza fan out here outside of Chicago.
Without the
Yeah,
I'm from St. Louis. I'm 4 hours from Chicago. I grew up.
you like Chicago pizza?
I'm a pizza fanatic, and I like all kinds. New York, I like St. Louis's thin crust. They got their own cheese there that no one else has ever heard of.
Yeah, I feel you, Stone.
The deep dish.
Got to remember, he really is just here for the videos. He doesn't drink outside of those videos. So Mike really represents someone who's brand new to whiskey. So he's going to drink it the way that someone who's brand new to whiskey is going to drink it. He says he feels like you drink a little too fast, like you nose and just drink too quickly.
It's true. That's absolutely true. I could nose all day. Doesn't mean I'm gonna give you something good, because I'm pretty unrefined. This is the guy that doesn't know what he's doing, but is gonna try and offer an opinion to help other people who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I have a role. I play it.
Yeah.
And we're just here to be. The whole point of this channel was, and I'm like 2 years behind on the channel. This was a concept that I had well before the cult that you guys probably all know about.
The big boys.
Before they even started a channel, this was a concept for me to start. And I just didn't get around to it because of having my commercial gym. But you know, the whole point that I started this was because I was tired of watching snobs that would like, you could tell they're almost like making shit up to try to make it sound like they're so refined, where they're like, oh yeah, I'm getting strawberry marzipan with little hints of iced raspberry with chocolate tart. I mean, like they're like, when you're starting to just like really reach for tasting notes, it's like, shut the fuck up, dude. or you get the guys that are just boring as shit, where they're so monotone, and that's what turned me off about watching reviews. So I wanted to just have a channel that was for average guys. You don't need to be a sommelier to follow our channel. We're going to give you our honest opinions and give you simple tasting notes. Now, let me see if I missed any questions. What's Mike's favorite Mexican beer?
It was a question. I'm going to throw it out there. Probably Victoria.
Actually, don't even know that one is. Yeah. Never had it.
Yeah. It's.
If you didn't hear him, he said Victoria. I don't even know what that is. It better not be Coronas, he says.
I did go to college, so at one point it was Coronas.
Well, Taco Bell is the best Mexican restaurant, they say now. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Went to high school, I love Taco Bell.
Stone, are you saying that you feel like some of our reviews aren't honest? Because I feel like every one of our reviews,
Mario agrees with me. Me and Mario on the same page. It must be because his last name's Yamasaki.
You guys.
Yeah.
Do we have a bromance going on right here?
I'm all in. Long distance relationship work. I don't care what anyone says.
Unemployed Mario Yamazaki and Michael are definitely having quite the bromance going on. Yeah. Guys, just to put this to bed, Mike's not Mexican. Stop saying it. He's not Mexican.
Hey, or keep saying it. Just be funny about it. I'm good with it. It's fun. That's what we're about.
Corona Negras, and I will make an exception, is what he just said.
Yeah, all right.
Mike is Japanese and some kind of Caucasian.
Some kind?
That's all he said. Whenever I ask him, he's like, yeah. I'm white.
I don't know. Hey, look. My dad was from Indiana. You know, basically that's Euro. I'm Euro-Asian.
Oh, got it. Thank you. I do appreciate the comment, Stone. Glenmorangie. I've never had the regular edition, the standard Glenmorangie. I had both the La Santa and the Quinta Rubin. I was up in Costa Mesa for my wife's strong woman competition. I grabbed 2 samples because whiskey, by the way, dude, so cheap up in Northern Cali. Yeah. It's like night and day difference in prices. So for just the samples down here,
we're cheap here.
I've seen them for like $10 for just the little 50 ml samples.
State tax
here, up there was like $3.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I have one $27 for that bottle. Here it's
and
16.
Honestly, I was turned off by the wine influence that those two have. It tasted more like wine to me than it did whiskey. So, Josh, what's your favorite Canadian whiskey style-wise? I'm glad Aaron's in here because Aaron's probably a little bit more knowledgeable on this than I am. Are there different Canadian whiskey styles, or is it just one whiskey style? Because no, Mario, yes, again with the win. No Canadian whiskey is the best whiskey.
Hey, I don't think I've ever tried Canadian whiskey, so I want to throw it out there. I want to try it.
Crown Royal. You never had that one in the purple bag?
I'm not even sure if I've ever had Crown Royal.
It's okay. It's an okay but boring whiskey. Like it's simple. If
I'm going to go with Canadian whiskey, what I've experienced, Crown.
Well, hold on. What Canadian whiskeys should we try?
Yeah, Josh, do you have a specific whiskey? Because I know there's Canadian Mist, which is like bottom shelf, like what was it, like $15 for a 1.75.
That's well drink. We're not doing well drinks.
There's Crown Royal, which everyone knows. Apparently, Mike's never had it though.
I don't think I had.
I drink Crown. Okay. So one of the guys in our whiskey meetup group in Fallbrook is a Crown Royal loyalist. He has every single type of Crown Royal that's ever been made.
Does he have a name?
Jamie.
All right, Jamie.
Jamie has every single one,
Jamie.
including all the limited edition stuff. That's the reason we were able to try that entrapment that one time, because he had the orphan barrel. And so Jamie will bring out different Crown Royals, like limited edition and special editions. And no offense, but it's just my personal preference. But none of them.
Well, they're not the same as a Scottish whiskey or something like that. But as far as Canadian whiskeys go, I think being a lot of them are cheap. You had them in high school. I'm going to tell you, if there's one that I enjoyed the most, it was probably I'd go in the Crown Royal family.
I want to give it a swing.
Mario Yamazaki, who's again a manager of a bar and a bartender, we just knocked his socks off by letting him know it's Canadian. What's a really good starting whiskey that isn't too peaty and easy to drink? Okay, so Stone, for Scottish whiskeys, there's that one can always be a little different because there's so many different flavor profiles you can go towards. If we're talking about bourbons, American whiskeys, me and Mike, we just uploaded the video today. Rabbit Hole, that long name again. Straight bourbon whiskey, finished in PX sherry cask. It's a really sweet, approachable whiskey. Absolutely, really good.
What was the last? I don't think you've uploaded this one yet, but we did Lefroy's Competitor.
Yeah, that's not coming out for quite a while. And no, he's asking for things that aren't smoky or peaty.
But he also asked for a good starter, and I thought it was a good starter.
That's
things
what he's
that
saying.
Aren't smoky or peaty Canadian whiskey.
Okay.
Okay. So that one's a little pricey though, Stone. That one's like $80 per bottle. So if you have it in your area, because I know they're not available everywhere, and that I say this one all the time, and people give me shit, but Black Feather. Black Feather is a really cheap American bourbon. It's like $28 at Trader Joe's, and it's sweet. So now, if we're gonna go Scotch, Stone, I will tell you the first whiskey that my wife ever liked. It's a little pricey, so if you're willing to spend the money on it, I would say go for it. But the Balvenie Caribbean cask. So it's aged for 14 years, and it's matured in X rum cask for about 6 months. So it takes in some of the sweet characters. It's an unpeated whiskey that's just really nice. That was my wife's first whiskey she ever liked until she tried Black Feather. And then that was her favorite until she tried Redbreast 12 cask strength. So those are her three. She never drinks, but those are three great whiskeys that are unpeated.
Josh, some good questions. I think, I think that needs to be addressed.
So the reason we don't do it in the freezer is because it's going to mute the flavors. And since we're drinking it neat, we're trying to actually taste the actual flavors. We're not trying to mute and hide the flavors. So we want to taste them as they're intended. The exception to that rule is going to be the White Walker. The White Walker, because it specifically says on the bottle to enjoy this one chilled. When we record tomorrow, the bottle's already in my freezer right now. We're going to be recording that one from a chilled bottle.
Because they want the gimmick to come into play.
I tried it last night. So last night, I just wanted to taste it. I took a little sample neat.
I don't want to go too far.
I took a little sample neat, and I wasn't digging it. And I put it in the freezer for a couple of hours, tried it again. I won't say I'm blown away, but it definitely improved it quite a bit. So we're going to be doing that one chilled because the bottle asks for it. What about using stones to cool the whiskey? Kind of the same thing as as putting it in the freezer. It's still going to mute the flavors. So the thing about that is, if you have a whiskey that you don't really like all that much and you need to mute the flavors, then yes, put in Stones. I will tell you this. We've talked about it earlier. I'm not a hater of Johnny Walker. There's certain ones I actually really enjoy. I did not like the Platinum. It was probably one of the hardest ones for me to put down. I could not drink it. So that was the only whiskey I ever did with Stones. I had to drink it cold. It's the only bottle that every drink was chilled. And the other time is if it's hot. You know, if it's a hot day and you want a cool drink, yeah, put some Stones in it so that it doesn't dilute the flavors. But like Mike said, try it. You gotta. That's the whole thing, is you gotta try it your way. Whenever I get a fresh bottle, even if I'm not doing it for the review channel, I typically will drink it neat first. I'll add a drop or two into it, taste it again, and when I have a second dram, I'll usually do it with ice or chilled, one or the other, like either real ice or Stones, and just see what happens. For me personally, most of the time I'm enjoying them neat. That's just my personal preference.
You get the most flavor that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a cold drink myself, but you do get the most flavor.
It seems that way to me. You know, I agree with all that.
But there's been plenty of times on this channel now where Mike and I will love a whiskey neat, and just those couple of drops, and we're talking a couple, 2 to 3 drops, and something happens where it doesn't open up. It doesn't just break the surface tension. It actually destroys the flavors. So we get that a lot where Mike and I we hate the whiskey once it gets touched with water. But that's just preference here. You know, there's going to be people that
I hope so.
I wish. I'm married, man. We don't do that stuff. You know, we personally, we don't seem to really like it with any dilution in the whiskey, but some people do.
Maybe there was 2 whiskeys that we actually enjoyed.
I remember Classic Lottie being the first one that ever.
Yeah.
I enjoyed better.
And honestly, I think it's if it's a bad whiskey, try it the other 2 ways. Maybe you can salvage.
Josh, thank you for staying on the channel. Appreciate all the questions, and always feel free to throw questions at us either in the videos or sending us an email. We love answering questions for you guys.
No, let's go to the mixing question.
But have you considered mixing to find good mixing whiskeys?
Nope.
We have not considered it.
Nope. Not even close.
This is your mixing guy. If you have questions, go to Drunk Cooking with Scott on YouTube. Drunk Cooking with Scott. He's all about the mixers. Yeah, honestly,
I'm in for a good time, not a long time.
He's one of the first. He is the first guy who offered his house up for our whiskey meetup groups, and we meet once a month in Fallbrook. When we do these neat at his house, he was saying it's probably the first time that he's ever really drank whiskeys neat. He normally drinks them mixed, so he's the mixer guy.
But I have learned to appreciate, definitely, from doing it, and I encourage other people to do so as well if you're interested.
Yeah, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is amazingly good, man. Aaron said he made some whiskey sours with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof comes in at, which one was that? Was that like is that the one that's 63%, Aaron? I think it's 63%. I mean, I had one the other day. It was amazing.
A big boy.
Oh, it punches you, but it comes through with flavor. Let's see. Did I miss anything?
Yeah.
And separately, does 1/2 drop of water really change the flavor?
1 to 2 drops of water.
Is it 1 to 2 or 1/2? Because if you're saying 1 to 2, then absolutely it has been. It has definitely been changing the flavor for us a lot. Scott, you got a fan.
Living Stone, I got another fan over here.
Living in a stone.
Hey.
So he said yes, 63%. The A118, that's what I had the other day. I did that on a live stream. With when I was on Malton in Montreal the other day, I had the A118, and whew, that is damn good. 1 to 2 drops, yes. That's usually what Mike and I put in. I try to get 2 drops just to keep it equal across the board. Sometimes 3 drops slip in there, but that little bit of water, does make a change in the flavors.
It changes it drastically, and for me, usually not for the better. It's usually not for the better.
So I do have I've been doing this since the start. I have a spreadsheet of everything Mike and I have reviewed with our scores that we gave it. So my plan was to, if anyone was ever interested in, they could send me an email and I would send them a cheat sheet of everything we've ever reviewed. Off the top of my head, actually, I could probably pull it up while we're on the live stream. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly which ones Mike and I enjoyed after we added a couple of drops, but I remember Classic Lottie being the first one, and that one was our 10th video. I actually increased it by a full 1 point when we went with the water. Wild Turkey, Mike increased it. Mine stayed relatively the same. There was another one that I recall we really liked when we added water to it, but I can't see. There's so many damn numbers here. Classic Lottie's the first one that I could say for sure we both liked.
Really liked. I think it was just because it started out so bad that it salvaged the drink.
I always add water in my mouth using saliva. Okay.
Thanks.
If you were blindfolded, how would you be able to tell the difference between top-notch and bottom-shelf whiskey? Excellent question.
Ooh.
I have no idea if we would know.
Ooh.
There's only one way to find out, and that's to taste it.
Well, we should do a blind tasting.
We can do a blind tasting one of these days, but is there a way to tell?
Pepsi challenge.
I would say, and this is just me spitballing here, but my initial assumption will be the bottom shelf whiskeys are going to have some of that chemical taste. And when you hear Mike and I say about rubbing alcohol, a lot of times that's coming from grain whiskey. So things like Proper 12 or Toki, those are two of our least favorite whiskeys. They definitely have like an acetone taste to them, and Proper 12 sells for $25. This one sells for about $35. So I would say those are lower grade compared to what we've been drinking. But then with the same thing in mind, Wild Turkey, I can buy a bottle of it right down the street for $15, and I enjoy the hell out of that one. So, price alone isn't going to be enough to.
I think with a blindfold test, I think I'd go with duration. The cheaper stuff I would expect to come and go. With the fuller, more expensive whiskey, that flavor is going to stick around a little
longer
bit.
Finish.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I would expect.
Drunk Cooking, looking forward to seeing what you've made. By the way, if you need whiskey from the UK that you can't get in touch, and I'd be happy to help you. Dude, when I have the money, Lafroig Cardace 15. That's our unicorn whiskey. That's the one. Our unicorn whiskey is Cardace 15 by Lafroig. It's a distillery only edition. Oh my God, we loved it, but they won't ship it to us here in the States.
No, us Yanks don't deserve it.
Did I miss any other questions? Blindfold test in the future. Let's make it happen. Canadian whiskey must be in the mix.
It's gonna be like, have you ever seen is it vodka or water challenge where people got to do the shots? You got so many vodkas, so many waters, and everyone's taking it. It'd be the same thing with like a shot of whiskey.
Yeah.
Is it Canadian?
Canadian water or
Canadian, eh?
I'm all for it. I want to try it. I'm all for making people happy and doing something new and just having a good time with it.
Absolutely. So Mike works a real 9 to 5 type of job, more like 4 to 7 type of job.
I have 12 hours.
He works long days, so it's hard for him and I to schedule multiple days to meet up. So usually the one day that we meet up is for us to record 2 videos, and that's just letting you know behind the scenes stuff. We normally record 2 videos back to back so that it gives me enough time to edit both videos during the week. At least that's the goal. I would say for us to do a blind tasting type of thing, in order to not sway from the format, I would like to actually maybe do it as a live stream.
I'm all for it, man. I like
So
these live streams.
as a
When
live
people come in,
stream,
I love it.
Yeah.
having maybe like
Interactive.
10 different
Yeah, I
whiskeys
love it.
for us to blind taste. The thing about it is we'd have to have some other party being
Mhm.
involved where they choose the 10 whiskeys. They don't let us know what whiskeys we're drinking, any of that stuff. He's not going to sway me. He's trying.
I think someone threw his name in the hat right there.
So he's going to want to drink the stuff. He's going to be
I
like,
can drink while I'm working. I always do at work. My boss isn't watching, I hope.
Just an airplane pilot.
I drive a bus.
Oh, no. Oh, Aaron, he's talking about the Cardace, the Lefroy Cardace 15. That's the one he was saying. Could you write that one down? I believe it's. I'll try to type it. Oh, there he goes. That's exactly how you spell it. Except the F should be a G.
Okay, whatever Aaron said is probably right.
I gotta take off my 15.
You're saying Cardace?
I can take it.
The Lefroy, what would you call it? Ambassador guy who ran the tasting event for us basically said it's like how you would say car chase. Car chase. So he's running Cardace.
Whatever it was amazing.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
damn good.
Yeah, he brought it out towards the end of the whole Lefroy event. Yeah.
After most people had already gone and left for the night.
Yes.
And then he's like, aha, you guys should have stuck around. Bringing out something that's only in Scotland.
It was amazing.
That was damn good. All right. Well, we've been on for a lot longer than I expected. It's cool to see that you guys had a lot of questions. I appreciate every single one of you guys who stayed around. If you have any questions that we haven't answered, go ahead and throw them in the chat box quickly. Otherwise, we're going to end the live stream soon. Once again, totally appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for getting us to the point where we can do live streams and get to taste our infinity bottle, because it's going to keep changing. We have to add some other things. He kind of let you in behind the secrets a little bit, but Ardbeg's going to be going in there now. And then the two that we do tomorrow. Well, one of them.
Okay, how about this?
Probably 12's already in there.
Dave, when do we open that bottle up again?
Anytime we want.
Well, I'm talking about we did the first time for us 100 subscribers. Do we have a goal?
I don't know if we would want to do it with a specific goal. I think maybe as we get more people that are involved that would actually want to see us more often, see our faces on a live stream, maybe we just do like a monthly thing or every couple of months type of thing.
Yeah.
What do you usually do as your last dram in a flight?
Yamasaki just said peace, so I guess he's loud.
Thank you very much for sticking around, Mario. You've been awesome. We love having you in the chat room. He says chopsticks. For me, in case you haven't noticed, I love peated whiskey. The thing about peated whiskey, though, is it completely changes the palate. So if I know I'm going to have a couple of whiskeys in the night, I never start with a peated whiskey unless that's the only thing I'm going to drink for the rest of the night. So if I'm going to try 2 or 3 things, the peated whiskey is always the last one. So for me, the last one's usually going to be Lefroy 10 or Lefroy Quarter Cask or Ardbeg 10 or something along those lines. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much, Stone. Definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Scott, no drinking on the job. That's Drunk Cooking with Scott right here on YouTube.
Look, Mars is probably the most responsible bartender on the planet.
Very responsible. I've never known a sober bartender, and I've worked for 25 years with him.
You say bartenders, no drinking on the job? Okay.
But so that's usually how I personally would end my last one, is usually a peated whiskey. I think we've been on long enough for you guys. It was awesome having you guys on with us. I appreciate that. As I was mentioning, we're trying to grow this channel to be a better audio and visual quality for you guys to not have distractions. So plans are new microphone, better editing equipment, etc. You guys can help us get there if you support us through Teespring or our new Patreon that just went live. So you can check out our Patreon. It's in the cover photo of our YouTube cover. So if you want to support, there's different tier levels, including times that you can do private live stream tastings with us. So depending on what level you support us at, you might be able to do some different tasting events with us. All right, guys, we're going to head out. Be on the lookout for our next video, which will be the Game of Thrones White Walker edition from Johnny Walker. And then the one that we're going to get a lot of heat from is going to be revisiting Proper 12. That one might also come out this week. In the meantime, I'm going to throw up Mike's chopsticks. Again, love you guys so much for sticking around with us. Help us grow by doing simple things like sharing the videos and commenting. The algorithms from when you guys actually write things in helps us grow the channel. So just help us by just being a part of the community. Don't be shy. Send in questions, send in comments, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care, guys. Chopsticks.